welcome everybody to this hands-on coding workshop for your classroom. I'm Craig with Learn Quebec, and we have some friends here today from eSTIM, and I'll let them introduce themselves, but we have Michel and Christine joining us from eSTIM.
Mhm.
Thank
So,
you.
vas-y, Michel,
No,
your
no,
turn.
my turn.
Yeah.
So good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Michel Eid. So I'm the Director of Operation for eSTIM. And Christine is with me. Christine is the GM and founder of the organization. So on my side, I'm actually a computer engineer. Okay. I've worked in the private sector for over 30 years in software development. And after 30 years in the private sector, I decided to join Christine to eSTIM as I said, the director of operation. So today we'll present you the program. Who are we? What are we doing? How can we help you and your classes? And we'll discuss about the workshop. I will do you some live demo of some of the activities that we're providing to students all over Quebec. Christine.
So thank you, Michel. So I'm Christine. I was a teacher, and after that, I was a school principal for 25 years. I quit my job in 2019 because I built that the program with my team when I was a principal, okay, with the teachers. So we decided one day to introduce programming from pre-K to grade 6, and we tried by ourselves at the first time, and we saw very fast that we need experts around the teachers, So I went to Polytechnique in Montreal to ask to have students to come in my school every week, one day, and he was going in each class, like 5 class a day, and he was there, and we noticed that for the teacher it's security because his name was Francis, and Francis can answer the question to the from the
Students.
from the students. Thank you. And so we say, oh, this is a good idea, So we built a STEM. I was with 10 teachers, and so we built the program. And so the program Michel will present it today. So you have to understand that it's a mix of activity, clé en main for the teachers, but to make sure that they're comfortable to that the students learn how to code and they don't know how to do it. We offer a part of our program with atelier in classes. Okay, so the mix of those two things make the success, I think. So the day that the schools asked for the program and it was too much for me, so I decided to quit my job, and so been like almost 8 years now, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 8 years that I'm proud to be from the team and to help teachers in Quebec. We're working only in Quebec.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Christine. You can all see my screens on my screen, which eSTIM says, yeah, perfect, great. Okay, so as I said, we'll go through everything from our program, who we are, and all that. So we can start with I can start with eSTIM. Christine, talk a bit about us. So founded in 2017, was founded by Christine and a team of school professionals, which is great. So it's really from people coming from the ground, so people coming from the education system, and they partner with some technical people like me, like our instructors coming from university, in order to build and after that lead these kind of workshops, coding workshops directly in the schools. So and the program has been designed, it's really designed, okay, for for the classes in Quebec. We provide a service in French and in English. So that's very good. And you'll see that, you know, our impact, if since 5 years, so since 2017, you know, we are reaching out, you know, over 40 CSS and school board, you know, and we're reaching over like 460 schools in Quebec as we speak. So this means what? It means that over 3,000 teachers and classes have been enrolled with our program since the beginning. So we're helping these teachers and these classes to learn how to program. We have a huge experience in terms of activities, building activities, but also running these workshops. So we're really, for us, what is super important is just not the academic side of the workshop. It's really how to talk to students of all levels, from pre-K to even we have some schools in high schools up to secondaire 1, 2, 3. So it's really our expertise to be able to really teach in a nice way, understandable way, you know, the basic programming concept, and all our activities are hands-on. Okay, that's very important to understand. It's all hands-on. All these students, they learn how to code by coding. Okay, by coding nice little project that fits into 30 minutes or an hour, depending on the age, and they complete that from scratch. That's the best way to make them learn, instead of just somebody talking there in front and they're just tuning out very easily. No, it's really hands-on. Okay. So, and since 2017, you know, we're really proud of you know, more than 60,000 students in Quebec learn how to code with our program. So this is what we'll present you. So the program itself, how it's working, with some really example. I will demo you live some of the activities that we're doing, so you can have a better understanding of these kind of activities for all levels, all age. Please, you know, feel free to interrupt me anytime. No problem. If you have questions and all that, let's make it as interactive as possible. So the main thing with the STIM is the turnkey solution. Turnkey solution means we are providing everything. So we're providing the content, we're providing the instructors, but also we're providing, you know, the best environment for these workshops to work properly. Okay, which means that, you know, the program that we'll present you is basically the program that is delivered in virtual modes. It's online virtual, so it's in real-time virtual mode. We'll all explain you how it's working. But, you know, just as an example of turnkey, okay, is basically we're not imposing time, date, and time for the workshop, you know. Each teacher can look at that, say, okay, great, you know, I'm enrolling. I want my 6 workshops, you know, of an hour each, you know, throughout the year. And this is the date I want. I want October 29. I want that time and that time. So they can book themselves the best date and time that fit their schedule with the class, and fit this class also, the class progression and all that, because many of these activities are tied, you know, to maths, to science, all that. Some of these things are seen in the class, and it's a great way to put that, you know, and present, you know, these kind of same information throughout a nice programming workshop. So it's up to the teacher to book their thing. It's an online booking, super easy to do. You book thing, we're sending reminders, like 3 reminders. Many reminders. We're in your class in 3 days, in 2 days, in 1 day. You can cancel, you can reschedule if you need. So everything is there. It's nice, and you know, throughout the years, you know, we made it very, very easy, you know, user friendly for that. So that's part of our turnkey system. Okay, and when we say turnkey system as well, is that, you know, when we're in your class, you know, basically the teacher needs to remain in the class, okay, because that's something that we really wanted to encourage, because it's kind of a workshop for the students, but the student will learn, you know, along with the teacher itself. Some teachers are really well, you know, aware and knowledgeable, you know, in terms of programming. Some are not at all. So it's an easy, nice way for them as well to learn, in the hope of being able to do it themselves, you know, after a certain amount of time. So it's really a turnkey system like that. So that's our main point, and main, I think, value, added value, okay, with the program. So how is it working? Okay, there's a lot of information. I'll go slowly there. Instructors, we're hiring around 50 instructors per year, okay, that we actually send, okay, remotely, okay, but they send in class, so they're driving, they're leading their workshops, okay. Who are these instructors? So as I said, you know, eSTIME, the actual value of eSTIME is really a nice combination of the education system, people who knows how to teach, and people who knows how to code, okay. So our instructors are all university students from computer science or computer engineering, okay. Some are doing their master, even their PhD. They have the time to do that. They have experience. So we are taking them for their knowledge, and also we do a big screening in terms of, can they teach? Can they teach to young kids, young students? Are they able to do that? We're providing them a full training on how to teach, how to run these workshops. On top of that, many of our instructors are there since many years, so they're actually experts not only on programming, but also on leading these workshops. So these are university students. For your information, you know, most of our customers are on the French side. We have some classes, we have some schools on the English side. So the instructors that are leading this workshop in English are fully bilingual, mostly coming from McGill or Concordia or other, you know, or they have a very good knowledge of they're fully bilingual. So that's really not it goes very smoothly there. And as I said, you know, the goal is really to make these programming concept and all that very easy to understand, regardless of the age, okay? Know also that they will adapt to the level, okay? Because we are teaching some workshops to young, even 4-year-old kids, up to 15, 16, 17-year-old kids in high school. So, you know, they can adapt. The activities are well adapted as well, you know, to all these levels. One very important thing is that, you know, our team of instructors it's a nice mix. It's about 50% of men and women. And this is great because it's really, you know, they act as role models when they come to the class and all that, especially women, you know, women studying in engineering and all that. They really, you know, act as role models, you know, on the STEM fields, you know, and they can really make a difference, you know. They're young, so it's more easy for them, you know, to be able to actually have a good connection, you know, with the class and with the young students. So it's a great mix also that. So we're really investing into these instructors to keep them, you know, very well suitable for leading these workshops. Now the teachers, we're talking about education. So we are actually leading these workshops inside your classes. So as I said, the teacher will remain in the class, okay? Because they're gonna learn along with the students and they will actually do the workshop. We're asking that also for if there's any class management things, you know, like hardware, computers, stuff like that. It's way easier if there's somebody, you know, on site there. So we ask them to stay. And the great thing, as Christine said, okay, I think one of our strength is that we are bringing not only support, but confidence to these teachers that some feel it's super important, you know. It's an aspect that is very important coding is important to learn as young as possible. They don't feel suitable to do it themselves. We are there for them. So we give all the supports. We're there to answer any question from the students and all that, but we're working really with the teacher. Okay, it's really, you know, a team effort. And the students, the goal of these workshops is not to make them future programmers or computer engineers. Great if it's the case, but that's not the goal. The goal is really to develop them their computational thinking, problem solving, and all that with hands-on activities. So, and for that, they are from the first workshop, they are working, they're coding. They're using real programming environment adapted to their age. Could be just, blocks with pictograms to put one after the other one, to be able to create, experiment, create real programs. Okay, so they're really learning, hands-on. So this is basically how it's working, roughly. And if you have any question, please ask us. No, there's no problem.
I
Any
don't have
question?
I don't have a
Yeah.
question, but I want to tell you something. When I was a principal and we introduced programming, I was in a school in milieu défavorisé. I don't know how you say that in English. How you say that, milieu défavorisé?
Milieu défavorisé. I don't know.
A low-income neighborhood?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we have a high percentage of students who have learning difficulty, of course. Okay, and I have when a teacher have a trainer with her, it's let her the time to observe the students, and what they observe, it's how the students think when he's coding, and I can keep you for hours of nice conversation that I had with the teachers, discovery the students in another way, and I tell you, and I remember one time a little girl who reduced grade 2 for the 2 times. She come from Africa and she have a very difficult life, and we were at the point that we will send that little girl in a special class, and we were in June, and she explained something to her teacher that she made in Scratch Junior, and the teacher didn't understand why the little girl changed the color of the T-shirt. She programmed a personnage, and the personnage was in blue, and the next scene it was a T-shirt yellow, and the teacher said to that little girl, "Why you changed the color of the T-shirt?" And she explained to her, "Well, it's because it's wet. I went that little personnage went in the water and it was wet, so that little girl changed, But I remember that time. It's because the teacher was so, no words. She said she can think. She can because when she writing and when she do nothing, And that teacher said to me, "You know what? I think we shouldn't send that little girl in a special class. She can learn, but it's a different way to learn." And this is the part for me, that when you have somebody else with you helping with a part so important to learn, with the numeric world we're in it, and she has something else, the teacher can concentrate on
Yeah.
on the students and what they
Focus.
learn, focus, So I just want to add that, because it's really important. Sometimes we think that if we give a teacher 1 year of training, she will be capable to do it by herself the year after. What I notice is like teachers are with us like 5 and 6 years in a row, and we still give her the program with a trainer. Why? It's because during the trainer do the activity, she concentrates on something else. Okay, and she's not afraid anymore. Anyway, it was a nice part that I want to share with you.
Thank you, Christine. So how is it working in a class? Because that's a question that comes often, how can you run a workshop efficiently by not being there, you know? And actually, it's working very well. It's working very well. I think we have a great experience into doing that. We have great instructors for doing that. And it is working well, especially with the teacher that stays in the class. So the way it's working, you know, it's, as I said, you know, the teacher will select themselves, you know, the good time, the good day, and the good time in the day for the workshops, which is key, okay? And they can change it over time, no problem, okay? And as soon as they're doing that, it's a very turnkey solution. As I said, you know, they receive a Teams meeting, they connect that, you know, a few minutes before. The instructor is already there. And from there, you know, the instructor, the only thing she has to do, or the teacher has to do is to just, you know, project the screen, you know, with the projector in the class or the whiteboard, the digital whiteboard, and that's it. And from there, you know, the actual instructor is taking over. There's a small, there's a nice picture here, you know, of one of her good instructor. He's not there, he's not with us anymore, you know, he moved on, you know, he graduated and all that, but he was a great one. And as you see, you know, it's working very, very, very well. His camera is there, so the students can see the instructor can see the overall class, okay? But each student doesn't have to connect to the teams. That's not, because that's too much of an issue. So they really look in front like if somebody was in front. So it's really easy, it's smooth, it's working very, very well. If we look at now the activities, so the first thing that we should say is that our program is, we have multiple kind of program, but the main program we're talking here is 6 hours of workshops, okay? So it's either 6 times 1 hour or 12 times half an hour, okay? Throughout the year, from October to April, May, okay? So if you enroll as a teacher, you just book your 6 workshop or your 12 workshop throughout the years, whenever you think it's the good time for your class to have these workshops. So pre-K, it's 30 minutes. iPad is ideal, so tablet is ideal, because that's easy to manipulate and all that. They're used to it. And we're using Scratch Junior. Okay, Scratch Junior is everything we're using as the platform, programming platform we're using are free platform, first of all, okay? Easy to use, okay? And it's all visual programming, in the sense that it's blocks that you assemble together, okay? Of course, depending on the level, depending on the platform, you know, you start with very, very like pictogram, you know, of blocks that you put together. Scratch Junior, I'll do you a small demo if you don't know. Up to high school, where we can still use, you know, a visual programming, but way more complex. You will see that. You know, at the beginning, we understand that the students, they might not be able to read and write, so that's why it's really pictogram. After that, it's really, you know, blocks that basically represent instructions. And the key here is the concept that you learn throughout all these levels are the same concept for any high-level programming language, okay? Like Python, like C++, like JavaScript, all the modern one, okay? It's exactly the same. If you learn how to program using these platforms throughout our curriculum, you will be able to code very easily, moving to a more high-level language later on. So 30 minutes, after that it's always 60 minutes. In high school, we can go up to 75 minutes, okay? Scratch Junior on iPad, starting grade 3, that's where we're introducing Scratch, which is basically a more, I would say, a more evolved version of the Scratch Junior. We're using code.org as well as a platform for some of the activities. And starting, you know, grade 3, we're recommending like Chromebook and computer. Moving on. And we're introducing also another platform which is called Micode Arcade. I'll do you a small demo later on. So Micode Arcade is to be able to actually program games, okay, small Game Boy kind of games and all that. That's super nice. It's efficient. Kids loves it because they know the games, you know, they're into games and video games and all that. So they're programming their own while learning how to code and while also, you know, applying some knowledge, maths, science knowledge, you know, required for their programming. You'll see. So this is the platform, and this is basically the duration of these workshops. And as I said, 6 hours per year throughout the year, so it's not that much, you know, and that you can place whenever between October and May. So if we look at the activities itself, okay, we have over 220 activities, okay? All the activities are different on a per level basis, which means, okay, if you're in grade 1, the activities you will do in grade 1 will be different than the activities you will do in grade 2, 3, and so on. So they're different, and they has been specially designed for that level, and with a nice progression throughout the year. From something, the first 1 or 2 activities usually are quite, you know, easy, and also for people, because sometimes students join, you know, grade 1 without having done or grade 2 without having done it the last year. So we make sure that we put everything, we level everybody. So the first activities are usually, you know, okay, let's go back into it and all that, and with a nice progression up to the 6 activities. Very nicely designed for that, and on a per level basis, which is very important. So if you look at here, you know, so we're talking about 4 or 5 year old, you know, this is just an example of the 12 activities, half an hour. It's half an hour, okay? For young kids, half an hour, because after that it's a bit too much. So half an hour, and we're making sure that we design the activities so they can actually complete that in half an hour, okay? Our instructors are trained to adapt to the level of the class. Not each class are not the same, you know, same pace and all that. So there's a way in the activities to end earlier or later, additional, you know, challenges if the class is super fast and all that. So nobody's like stopping at the end and, oh, I didn't finish, or 15 minutes before the end, they're like, oh, there's nothing to do. It never happens. So here, you know, as an example, I will share that slide deck with you so you can actually look at more in details. But these are example of activities that we are providing in kindergarten. Butterfly dance, where the bat, ball game, astronaut acrobat. We have some activities that we tied with the season as well, you know, fall, winter, Christmas, Easter, and stuff like that. So it's usually nicely going there. There's also, just for your information, there's also a teacher, when registering, when booking their time, they can actually select one activity against another one if they prefer that against another one. But usually we have a nice built by default curriculum for these 6 activities. So there's not really activities to select. You don't need to select, but if you want to change it, if say, oh, my third activities is really not at Christmas, I don't want the Christmas one, there's no issue with that. There's a question, I think. Am I right? Is there any question?
No, sorry, Michel. I was just indicating that we could share the slide deck in the chat that you referred to. We'll share it after, no problem.
Yeah.
Perfect.
We won't take the time to look at each level. It's too long, but maybe for the high school, we want to say something about the high school.
But we'll go through it. I just wanted to,
okay.
I think we still have, oh yeah, it's 4. So we still have some time. So, you know, I'll just show you as an example, okay? What do we do? You know, what do we do with Scratch? So that's Scratch Junior, okay?
Yeah.
So it's running on iPad and all that. You see the program, super simple, okay? It's really blocks that you put, you know, you put blocks and you just, you know, put like a puzzle, you know, to create your own program. But it's really great. Like for an example, okay? Here, you know, it's called a cactus and all that. You know, when you run I will just run it in. Right? So basically what you do is here you have that cowboy and you need to make him jump over the cactus. Okay, so it looks simple, but it's great. And kids at 5-year-old, they can do that. And they program everything. You know, they program the little cowboy going from left to right. They program, you know, a detection of you click on it, they jump with the nice, you know, gravity things. And you have the bird that is going there. So it's a very, very simple thing, but it's great for the kids to be able to build that from scratch. They really build that from scratch. So that's another example. I'll show you maybe another example, a bit more which is oh, the moon. So this is more like in grade 1 or something like that, okay? Or grade 2, still on Scratch Junior, but look at and they're building a story, okay? They're building the intro of the story itself, the conclusion and all that. So they're really building that. For example, so within this will take an hour or a bit less, but so that's more like grade 1 and grade 2. So if you look at that, you know, so you start a thing, oh, I'm going to the moon, you know, and click on me to start. It goes into the rocket. The rocket go and then there, and now there's a change. Oh, they're like going through the space and landing on the moon. Great. They're landing on the moon, the little astronaut going out, and great. And after that, oh, look at the Earth now with an azure. So it's, you know, it's very cute. It's a very nice story that they're, and everything is built from scratch. It is a program, okay? Show you the program. You know, you have the astronaut, so you basically program the astronaut, what the astronaut is doing and all that, when he's talking, when he's jumping, when he's moving, and the rocket after that, what the rocket is doing, and the different, you know, phase of the story, you know, on Earth, in space, on the moon. Okay, so that's very, very example of what you can actually reach, you know, in these kind of workshops. So this is, so I went through, so that's kindergarten, grade 1 and grade 2. We won't go through all that, but these are the typical example of what we do here on Scratch Junior. Now, starting grade 3, that's where we introduce code.org and Scratch itself. Okay, so this is where we start programming. It's a bit more complex. Okay, the interface is very similar to Scratch Junior, but it's more powerful and all that. And that's where you can actually start doing stuff like, I'll show you. So you can, you know, this is very, very, very simple. I can show you it in full screen, you know, like that's I think one of the first one, just to introduce the actual platform, the user interface and all that, so you can really program, you know, that fish that goes in all directions. You know, you can also here, this is another example of, you know, you're just changing the background and like magic, change the background, change the people and all that. So this is example of really like grade 3, very simple. The first activities, as I said, just to put back people and level all people. But after that, you know, you can start going, you know, through a nice progression in terms of, you know, in terms of complexity. You know, you have, so basically you have to look for the eggs. Oh, you find an eggs here, where's the eggs, and the eggs is putting random here, it's here, and it's here, stuff like that. So and that can be for Easter, it can be, you know, you can actually time that activities for the proper date, you know, throughout the years. And you know, you can also have, you know, gravity, another example of activities that you go here, you know, and you just, and here you need to, I'm not sure you hear the sound, but it's beeping when you have it and stuff like that. So it's, so basically, and that's where you start programming the gravity, the jump, the speed going up and down and all that. So it starts to be more complex, but that's still like grade 3, grade 4 and all that. Now, okay, we're moving. Okay, let's move to, you know, grade 4 and like grade 5, that's where we start introducing very, very interesting aspect of programming and platform. Méthode d'arcade is a great way to create some games. We have on grade 5 and grade 6 two activities involving AI. Okay, so that's great. Okay, and basically, so we're not touching any generative AI, so we're not touching that. It's just a concept of AI, the concept of a model, what's a model, how to train a model, you know, and all that. As an example, okay, like rock, paper, scissors, okay, everybody knows how to play. So basically from scratch, the students will start training an AI model to recognize, you know, what you put in front of the screen. Is it, you know, a rock, a paper, a scissor, and all that. So train that, okay? And after that, using that in Scratch to play against the computer. So this is amazing. This is great. So because they really learn AI, some basic concept of AI, plus they use that to solve a problem, to play a game with it. Okay, another example is basically geometric figure. Okay, so you teach the AI, okay, how to recognize a circle, how to recognize a square, a rectangle. Okay, you show that and you see that's a rectangle, that's a square. Okay, and after that you ask the students, okay, try a octagon, try it, and you see the system is like, oh, is it a square? Is very confused. And you say, hey, because you didn't teach that AI, that's an octagon. So they try an octagon and they put the octagon. Right? And after that, they use that. So it's really nice. These two activities, we have the same in grade 6 about programming and using AI, okay, as an engine inside the program. I'll just show you quick examples of here of Méthode d'arcade, okay? So I'll show you here. That's a typical example. You do that in grade 5 and 6. You'll see it's very neat. So you can actually here. So you know you play here and you have to avoid the yellow cones, you know, the orange cones, and get some token there. So this is a nice game. So it's a different output. They create their own game. They're creating their own like kind of a you know a gamepad, you know, a little game. And that's true programming. I'll show you. You know, it's exactly the same. It's basically, you know, it's a bit more complex for sure, but it's still some blocks that you assemble together, but there's some words, of course, and all that. And that's where you really start to really address all the a bit more advanced programming concept that is key in any high-level language. So you know how to do that, you will be able to do the same thing in high-level language later on. Okay. So that's Méthode d'arcade. That's one of an example. You know, there's a like as an example, I should have shown you this one before. So this is basically when the first one is the burger attack, you know. So basically you have to be careful and to move out of the burger, you know. And there's 2 burgers, 3 burgers, 4 burgers, and all that. So it's a very nice thing. Within an hour, it's done. They all program that. Right? They program the burger coming in, the speed, all that, and how to avoid that. So that's really good. If we go back, you know, into Scratch itself, okay. So in Scratch itself, that's where you start really programming something a bit more advanced, you know, in grade 5, 6, and high school. This is as an example, you know, that's the labyrinth. So basically, you have to find your way out and all that. And it's all detection. It's basically a random labyrinth and all that. And you have to reach that. You have some lives, you know, you can actually die only 3 times before game over. It can be a counter and stuff like that. So that's also a game. But I'm going to show you something else that is extremely popular also, you know, in classes are les provinces canadiennes, okay, the province in Canada. So basically you program that game, and the game is in basically as fast as possible. You should actually put that, okay, put that in the right place. Where, you know, where's New Brunswick? You know, where's Saskatchewan? Oops, Nouvelle-Écosse, sorry. Okay, and all that as fast as possible, you know, in Prince-Édouard and all that. So basically, and you have a counter and all that. So they are programming that game, okay? And believe me, okay, I did that even in high school, you know, where when I started and I start asking, you know, your province, where they are and all that, they say, oh, blah, 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 blah. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. At the end of the class, everybody knew it because they were going there and they were after programming, they were actually trying to beat their French students time faster than you and all that. At the end, everybody went to it. They learned how to program. They went back to that thing that they probably see before. So that's a very good example of not just teach programming for programming, do something interesting with it and challenging. And all these programs, it's free, it's on their account. You can have a free account. They can play at home after that, show their parents, their brothers, sisters, their siblings, and all that, and play together. We have, you know, if you want to start, you know, also we have this I really like this activity. That's something else that we're doing in high school and all that. It's basically you can select, you know, a language, and basically you can here select a language, and you see here who's my name, Michel. Hi, Michel. Okay, and after that, what do you want to translate? I want to translate. I don't know. Good morning. Okay, and oops. Good morning. And here it will actually, and you don't hear it, but it will tell you as well. It will actually, so it's basically a text to speech translation. It's connected to, so it's all there. They're learning. They can actually put the language they want. They can add a new language. We have like 65 language. They can pick their own, put the flags they want. They can play. So that's great. They start playing that and all that. But so it's not to learn, you know, to learn all these language, but to learn how to program and to learn that these kind of services to translate to the text exist. They know it exists, they know how to do it and all that. So this is a great way for them to discover the power of programming and all these services that can be actually linked to your program. Okay, if you wanted to go to
Michel, can I say something else?
Yes.
After we will check probably high school project, because Craig, there's something special with high school that we offer. So as you notice, we have short project, okay, for us and for the children and for the teacher. What is important is complete one project per hour, okay? And we notice also, and because imagine if a project is on two different periods, the time that you have to take at the beginning to find the project, and it's on the other computer, and the children don't have the right computer, and it's a mix-up. That's why we really, it's really important when we develop, it has to fit in 1 hour, okay? And it has to been finished by the students also, because they have to be proud at the end of the hours of the project, okay? The other thing that, Michel, I would like that you show, maybe it's later in your presentation, it's because time for teacher is so important. We know that, okay? So we have an astuce for that. We develop mise en scène, okay? Because what we saw at the beginning is the children take too much time to to choose the little girl, okay? The T-shirt, they change the color of the teacher. They have to draw the soleil, the nuage, and they have to do the mise en scène. That's why we start the session with scratch, with a mise en scène already done. And the nice example that I suggest to show, Michel, is the Province Canadienne that we saw.
Yeah.
Because imagine the time that a student should take to draw each province. You know, it's hours. So what we do, we going on our website, we have all the mise en scène on scratch. The children will pick Province Canadienne, and they will have everything will be done. Okay, they have the Alberta, the Saskatchewan, Ontario. It's already on place in scratch. Okay, but and that for teacher, they say, wow, that is good because it's take a minute. Okay, so those mise en scène, it's it's.
Yeah, mise en scène are basically set up. So it's the especially with older students, since the project are more complex, they don't start from scratch.
Yeah.
We're still building the basic building block that they know how to do it anyway, but everything is not there. It's just like Province Canadienne is, the map is there, the little stickers are there, but that's it. Okay, they're just but so when they start programming.
Yeah, and the last thing I want to say, it's when a lot of teachers in the same school do our program, what we do, and we're the little students, grade 1, and they will work with the events and the loop, and we will introduce condition in grade 3 and 4, and after that, when they arrive in grade 6, that's why they're capable to do those projects, because since they're young, they're learning progressive with those concepts. And after that, in grade 5 and 6, it's easy to understand what is a variable and why we using in the program. So it's really, but that you can see, as a consulting, when a school, all the teachers are involved, because they will start in kindergarten, 6 or 10 hours per year, and after that, grade 1, there's a level, another level, and they will continue like that. It's different when we have a school, only one teacher will programming with the students. They of course the students won't have the same experience. Okay.
Yeah, but it's still possible, and we have.
It's possible.
It's still possible and still working well as well.
Yes.
And our instructors are well trained to adapt to each classes and where they start and all that. Yeah.
Okay, I mute myself. Thank you.
No problem. So anyway, it's almost finished. So high school is a bit different, So secondaire 1, 2, 3, after a 13, 14, 15, 16-year-old. So that's where, we're still using the same kind of platforms, but we're pushing a bit the content itself. As example, I just show you a few examples you will see. So that's one of the first ones. So basically this is something that usually it involves a lot of maths and physics, So basically you can actually put a speed and you can turn. So all the animation is basically programmed, okay? The speed of each of the gear, the way they turn, the direction they turn and all that, So this involves what? Involves like transmission of movement, number of the gears, the size, the radius, and all these kind of stuff are involved into that. So that's a good example. I can push it a bit more. You can actually go here if you want. Let me show you that. So this is basically, if you want to start, with second degree function and all that, you want to be able to draw that in real time. So this is the equation. You can actually see how it works and all that. What happened if you change A, change B, you change C, and all these kind of stuff, and where it crossed, the x-axis and all that. So this is another example of, it's really maths. But you know what? They are doing everything. They are drawing the thing. They calculate all of that. They calculate the déterminant. They calculate the crossing points. They calculate all that. So that's really, we're doing that in Sec 4, 5, and all that. It's great. Maths teachers love it because it really put them in practice what they learn. And on top of that, they're programming it. They program the drawing of these curves. Okay. And I think I can show you something else fast if you want. So we have a bunch of stuff here. Let me check here. So, you know, this one is also a nice one as well. It's basically pushing the gear a bit more. So now you're really involved. So you have the same kind of stuff, but basically, you know, you have a hook. So there's like a kind of the delta Y of the hook up to the thing, and it goes up and all that. But everything, all the movement of the gears, you know, of the cable and all that, that's all programmed, all math based, and of course physical base, you know. So it put back, you know, concept of physics, concept of maths into action, into a program. Let me go back here. So that's it. So that's the activity. I'll share you the deck. You will see the small description we have, you know, for each one.
Michel, there's one thing I want to add.
Yeah, sure.
When we're working with high school, it's totally different with primary, because primary you saw there's planners already done. Okay, there's 6 activity and you just do it like that. You're alone with your teacher, your students. In high school, Craig, I don't know, Jenna, if you're working with high schools also, and Lisa, I don't know if you're in high schools or not, but in high schools, it depends on the size of the school. Imagine that you have one school and you have 3 teacher in maths in that school, and they all split. You know, one of the teacher have grade secondaire 1, or anyway, they you know, they split the level and they split the groups. Okay, so what we do in those time, we meet the teachers and we do a planification with them. Okay, so one will take the one activity to make sure that each group do different activity. Okay, so it's a different way to see the planification in high school, because sometimes it's the science teacher we will do, sometimes it's a mix of science and maths, and sometimes it's only maths teacher. You see, we're working right now with Juan Oranda and with the school board, all the school board, and they decide to introduce in grade 1, high school, it's grade 7, I think, 7, yeah. And so this year, all the groups of grade 7 will do 2 activities. Next year, we will go with the grade 8. Okay, so it's different. Okay, just remember that planification of the activity is different. It's depend with which teacher we will work in high school, and if it's a mix of maths or science. Okay, so it's a bit different. Yeah, thank you.
So any question about us, about the program or the activities?
Can I just ask, I'm curious about the mise en scène, and I was grateful to hear that there is a mise en scène, because it's still intimidating, right? The teacher will look at it and go, wow, that's a big project. How do they get to that point? So you're sharing the mise en scène. How does that take place? Does the teacher receive that ahead of time?
No, it's basically, I'll show you live.
Sure.
Okay. So I'm going here. I'm
our
going here.
website.
You're going. So that's our website, ecolestime.ca. We have English version. You can switch to English if you want. No problem. And here, sorry, it's more project templates. That's the right words to do it. You go in project templates, you know, and you go here, you whatever, you know.
Show Province Canadienne, because this is one of
Province Canadienne, okay. We have the English version I'm showing you the French now, but the English version is there as well. So basically you do that and you click here and that's it. You're in Scratch with the mise en scène.
It's a link on Scratch. So at a few years ago, we said to the children, go on Scratch, blah, 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 blah. Now they're going on our website and they would go directly on Scratch.
Exactly.
And did you saw, retourne s'il te plaît, Michel. Look, what the mise en scène, look, everything is done. You see the etiquette, the province, it's all done. So they right away they will start to program.
But
If you
look at
don't do
the
that, you have to build everything,
Yeah.
You know that, it's
But look at that, everything is empty. There's no program yet. And that's where they're building. They're building a program itself. At least, all the assets and all that are already there and everything. And it's all there. For more complex thing, there might be some programming already there, like basic stuff. So at the
So
workshop
at the
when it
beginning,
starts,
at the beginning of the hours, what the
Yeah.
trainer will say, there's nothing to send at the teacher at the advance. Okay, there's nothing, Craig.
Yeah.
We start, and then Jonathan will say to the student, look, go. I'm proud to be with you today. So open your computer, go on our website, and go to click on Province Maritime, Province du Canada, and
That's
that's it.
And they start right away.
Of course, we don't have that with SCAD Junior, and you know that SCAD Junior is an application and it's not on the website. So this is the difference, okay?
Yeah, but usually the workshop, the activities are quite simpler. Yeah, and it's part of learning as well. Putting the right background, changing a background, changing the color. It's part of the activities. So that's great to keep it like that.
So we have now 3 teachers in your school board already enrolled for the autumn, okay? They all come from Dollard des Ormeaux School.
Yeah.
And with the little history, and Lisa, your name tell me something. Did you ever try our program, Lisa? No?
No, usually I use Scratch every year with my students, but I've never went on to STIME before.
Okay, it's because before we start to deliver our program on the virtual model, okay, the government it's been 4 years ago we had a contract with the government, okay, to try our program as a virtual mode, okay, and your school board had a few places, okay. It was a special program from the government. They hire us to deliver in 640 classes, different classes in 2 years. And we've been to work with your school board in few schools. That's why I thought, Lisa, that I saw your name and at that one, but I just did a mistake. I'm sorry. But that's why we know that in a few schools of your school board, some teachers know about our program, okay? So we're working by 2 sessions a year. Right now, the autumn, it's already, the teacher are already enrolled. But the next time that if there's some teacher or, in your school, if you want to try with a few person, sometime maybe a few teacher per school, it's a good idea. It's give a little, comment on dit en anglais, un début. It's in December, okay? Because in December we will take some more inscription for the winter. In the winter, there's a way we offer a special program just to try our program, because Michel speak to you about 6 hours. But for a teacher who enroll with us and they just want to try a first year, we offer a 4-hour program, to take between the end of January to mid-April. Okay, so this is possible to enroll people only for a trial of the program with a cost, a low cost also. Okay.
Yeah. So I see, Lisa, you ask, when are we booking for the year? So usually, the session starts in October. So it's a bit late for this fall, but if you want to start, in January, there's no problem. If you want to try that 4 workshop trial, that's great. If you want to go for the full 6, there's no problem. It is really not a problem. You have just to make sure that you can actually fit 6 hours within, from January to May. Okay, but some people are actually starting in January and easily complete the 6 hours, by May. It's up to you. There's really no problem with that. Yeah.
And how can you enroll? Who have more information about us or speak with me? It's me who will take the goal when we have people who want have more information and discuss with us. You go on our website. There's a place that you can just leave your name and your email, and I will get back to you very fast, to discuss.
No
and
problem.
we will be proud to have the Anglophone community with us. Okay, we have a lot of French sector because I think it was a real need in those years, and because there were nothing for French, only France. Okay, from France, but it's not adapted to Quebec. So we had to serve those children and those teachers, but it's always we would like to work with the English sector, and so we did things during the summer to prepare ourselves. Now our website is in English, and we translate all the activities, and we have door open in McGill and Concordia University in Montreal to find English trainers. Okay, and we just wait the teachers, the schools. And Craig, I don't know how the budget, the situation of the budget is it in the English sector. Of course, we know that there's less money this year. We lost 75% of our clients because the coupure budgétaire. So we know that. You can know that we can arrange things. If you have a little budget, we can look with you what we can do. We open and we understand it's not easy. The choice are not easy. But we're not profit organization. We have no subvention, so we're working with the schools, the school board, and the teacher, and it's depend of the amount that we can put on the table, and we can arrange something, for sure, with you. For us, the importance is that the children learn to code, and the teacher. Get the teacher more comfortable about that idea because it's not on the program, but it's a reality of those years. Of course, they have to learn. So thanks, Rick, to arrange everything.
Thank you for that flexibility and making coding accessible, right? And making it available to people. It can be intimidating, but it's so nice to hear there's a turnkey way the instructor works with the teacher. It takes away some of the fear. And I mean, we don't have to be afraid of coding, but it is intimidating, but it's just a language, right? So it's a new literacy that we need to develop.
Yes.
So thank you for making it digestible. Little
Thank you,
chunks.
Lisa. Thank you, Jenna. Thank you, Craig.
And I will just put in a little reminder in the chat too that eSTIMe will be back with us on November 25th. They're going to do another one of these webinars, and that one will be AI program design for teachers.
Yes.
So we'll see everybody at the next one. Thanks, Michelle. Thanks, Christine.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.